Welcome to TechieShare. In this video, we are going to discuss about what is queue in data structure and how to implement queue using Java. Before dive into the concept, if you aren't subscribed my channel, please subscribe my channel first. Let's dive into the concept. Queue is a linear data structure. It follows first in and first out process. In real time, we can say many examples. Suppose if you are in the toll gate, the first car will cross first in the toll gate. Similarly, if you are forming in the queue or if you are waiting in a hospital, the person who comes first, the doctor will check that person first. The applications of queue will be it used in CPU scheduling and it used in asynchronous data transfer, and also it was used in handling of interrupts and etc. So we understand the basic concept operation of queue, how exactly the queue works. So the basic concept will be the data will be inserted in the queue using an array. So we simply keep the data in an array format. So there will be two pointer. One will be front and another one will be rear. So the front will denote the first element of your queue and rear will denoting the last element of your queue. Suppose if you want to take it out the data from your queue, then you simply return the front position element data from the queue. So in our case, the 1 will be removed from the queue. After removing the value 1, the 2 will be the front position. Likewise, the queue works. So after removing the 2, 3 will be the front position. So if I am removing the value 3 means 4 will be the front position. Likewise, the queue works. We are going to implement queue using Java. For storing queue, we have to create one array. So before creating array, I am going to create one capacity for creating that array. So by default, I am keep the value 5 for my capacity. Here I am going to use the array value will be int array. I am simply declaring the array as of now null. Now I am going to initialize this array using my default constructor. In this constructor, I am going to initialize my array using my capacity value. So the syntax will be new int followed with my capacity value. So the capacity which I have created here. So by default, okay, in my capacity value, the array will be created. Suppose the user wants to create customized queue value. So in that case, the user should pass the capacity value through the parameterized constructor. In this parameterized constructor, I am simply pass the capacity value. So now the first step will be I have to store that value to my capacity field. Afterwards, I have to initialize my array which we have done in my default constructor. So I am simply initialize my array using my capacity value. That's it. I already told you there are two pointer for queue. One will be rear denoting the last element of my queue and another one will be the front. The front nothing but the first element of your queue. By default, the front will denoting the 0th element and your rear there is no data in your queue, so that the rear will be -1. So there is no data in your queue means the rear will be -1. That's it. The first method I am going to implement enqueue method. Nothing but I am simply insert the data into my queue. So the method signature will be public void. Here I won't return anything. So public void enqueue. In this method, I have to pass the data which I want to insert into my queue. So here I am just pass the value data. So this process will be the first step. I have to increase my rear value +1. Afterwards, using that rear value, I have to set the data to my rear position of array. So the first step, increase your rear value +1. The next step, using that rear position, I have to set the value to my array. That's it. This is what the enqueue operation will be. Okay. So the first step, what I have to do, rear equal to rear +1. So I am simply remove that first comment statement and change my statement rear equal to rear plus 1. The next statement, using that rear position, I have to set the data to my array. So array of rear position, in this position I have to set my data into my queue. That's it. So nothing but I'm going to set that value into my array. Finally, I'm simply denoting the user the particular data enqueued into the queue. So nothing but I'm simply return the statement the particular data was inserted into my queue. So the data enqueued into queue. That's it. So here I'm just pass the value data here in the sysout statement for understanding the user the particular data was inserted or not. So that denoting the purpose, I am simply create a sysout statement here. That's it. I'm going to verify that logic. So the logic will be, first step I have to create one object for my queue. So the object will be queue, the reference will be queue. I'm simply create that object in my main method. Afterward, using that enqueue method, I'm going to insert the value 10. The first data will be 10. Afterwards, I'm just enqueue the value 20. Afterwards, I'm simply enqueue the value 30. Likewise 40 and 50. Okay, so the first insertion of 10, the rear position will be 0, the 10 will be inserted. Afterward, rear position will be 1, 20 will be inserted, and so on. The rear position will be increased. Afterwards, the data will be inserted into my array. Once the rear position will be 4, my queue will be full. Afterwards, I can't be able to insert the data. So let me check our functionality. So once I have inserted 50, the 50 data inserted into the queue. Likewise, the message should comes, yeah, it fine. So after inserting the value 50, if I am trying to insert the value again, in that case there is no space in my queue, nothing but there is no space in my array. So in this case I have to handle this situation. So that I have to add one condition. Before adding this condition, see here the statement will be rear equal to rear plus 1, right? So using pre-increment operator we can avoid this statement. So I am just replacing this statement will be as a pre-increment operator. Now I'm going to implement that condition check. So when rear plus 1 equal to capacity, nothing but in our case the capacity value will be 5, our rear value will be 4. So 4 plus 1 5. When my rear value equivalent rear plus 1 value equivalent to capacity, there is no space in my array, so I can't be able to insert the data. So I'm simply return the error print statement, the queue is full, can't insert data. Afterwards I'm simply block the execution operation. So I'm just adding one return statement here. So simply I'm break the execution operation. That's it. Now let me check this implementation. As of now we have insert the value 50, right? So suppose if I am trying to insert the value 60, so in this case there is no space in my queue, so it won't insert the data. Instead of that it will return the value, right? Exactly, the queue is full, can't insert further. Exactly, works fine. Now I am going to create the size of method. So size of method will return the size of my queue, nothing but I am simply return the rear plus 1 value. Why I have written the rear plus 1 value means when my rear value will be 0, there will be one data in my queue. So rear plus 1 equal to 1, so my size will be 1. So that I am just using rear plus 1 from here. So now I have a size of method, so I am just replace the condition which I created just before. That's it. So now I am going to implement dequeue method. So the dequeue method nothing but I have to remove the first data in my queue. So in this logic the first step will be I have to get the data of front position. So I have a pointer, right, front. So using that pointer I have to get the value from my array. Once I get the value from my array, I have to shift down all the data towards the front position. This is what the dequeue operation will be. Okay, so the first step I have to get the value of front position data. Afterwards you have to shift down all the data towards the front position. So once I have get the value 10, the 20 should be shifted down to the front position. Afterwards 30 will be shifted down to the 20 position. Likewise, the 40 should shift down to the 30 position and 50 should shift down to the 40 position. Once I have shipped down all the data, I have to decrease my rear value by -1. That's it. So the first step, I have to get the front position data. Using front pointer, I simply get the value from my array. That's it. The next process will be, I have to shift down all the data towards the front position. So the logic will be, I have to create one for loop. Here I am just assign the front position as a initial position. So int I equal to front. So until it will be checked until less than my rear value. So the logic will be, the first position data should be replaced into 0th position. Likewise, the second position data should be replaced with first position. Third position will be second position. So the logic will be array of I equal to array of I plus 1. In our case, the array of I will be the 0th position. Array of I plus 1 will be the first position. So I am simply replace the value from shift down. I am simply shift down all the values towards the front position. Likewise, the data will be shift down here. So 40 will be replaced by 30 and 50 will be replaced by 50. So once the for loop will execute, I am simply reduce the rear value by 1. That's it. Now I have a data. So I am simply inform the user the particular data was dequeued from queue. So for denoting the user information, I am simply adding one sysout here. That's it. Let we check that functionality. Suppose if I am dequeue the data in this queue, so which value will be written? It will be remove 10th value from the queue. After, if I am removing the 20, 30 will be the front position and 40 will be the first position, 50 will be the third position. Likewise, the data will be dequeued from the queue. Let we check the functionality. See, 10, afterwards it remove the value 20, afterwards 30, afterwards 40, afterwards 50. Once I have removed the value 50, there is no data in my queue. In that case, the rear value will be -1. So suppose if I am trying to remove the value again, so in that case there is no data, right? So I have to handle this situation. For that, I am going to add another one condition in my condition will be, if my front value equivalent to my size value, nothing but there is no data in my size, the size value will be 0, right? So in that case, the size value equivalent to my front value. Suppose if it is in this case, I know my queue is empty, there is no data in my queue. So I am simply return the print statement, queue is empty, there is no data, nothing but there is no data in my queue. Afterwards, I have to stop my execution. So I am simply add the return statement for break the expression execution. That's it. Let we check that functionality. So after removing the value 50, so there is no data in my queue. In this case, suppose if I am trying to dequeue the value again, so instead of throwing error, it simply will set the value, there is no data in my queue, so nothing but queue is empty. Yeah, exactly, it works fine. Let I am going to implement is full and is empty method. So is full and is empty, nothing but once my queue is full will return the true value. Similarly, once my queue is empty will return the true value. That's it. So is full, nothing but when my size equal to my capacity, then my queue is full. That's it. Similarly, when my size equivalent to 0, then my queue will be empty. So now I have a isFull method, so I'm simply change the condition in my enqueue stack using isFull method. That's it. So next I have to create isEmpty method. So isEmpty method, nothing but when my size equivalent to front, or else when my size equivalent to 0, then my queue will be empty. So in this case, I simply return the value return size of equivalent to my front, or else it will be equivalent to 0. So I am simply return if size of equivalent to my front value. That's it. So now I have a isEmpty check. So I am simply replace this method called in our previous condition check. So front equal and equal size, instead of that I'm simply add the isEmpty check. That's it. Let we check the implementation. So we have changed isFull and isEmpty check, right? So let me check. Yeah, everything is works as we works earlier. Now I'm going to implement another two method called as rear and front. So the rear nothing but the last inserted data of my queue, and front nothing but the first inserted element of my queue. First I'm going to implement rear method. So the rear method signature will be, it will return the last inserted data. So the method signature will be public int. Here it will return the int value, so that I'm just adding int here. The method name will be rear. The rear nothing but that last inserted data. Already we have a field called as rear, right? So using that field position, I'm simply return the value from my array. So array of rear will be as my rear item. So in this case the rear value will be 50. Since the rear value will be 4, so that the rear data will be 50. Suppose if my queue is empty, in this case what I have to do, I have to handle this situation. So suppose if my queue is empty, I have to return the minimum integer value. Suppose if you want to implement any other business logic, you can implement any other business logic as per your wish. But I am simply return the minimum value of integer here. Suppose if it is not empty, I am just return the rear position of my array data. That's it. So I am simply denoting the user, the queue is empty, so that there is no data in my queue, so I can't be able to return the value rear, so that I'm just return the value minimum value of my integer. That's it. So the same logic I have to implement for front item 2. The front item nothing but the first position of my queue. So instead of using rear, I'm simply replacing the value front. That's it. This is what the major difference between rear and front. Let me check this implementation for getting the front and rear item. So after inserting the data 50, I am simply verifying the condition. So once I have insert the value 50, the front item will be 10 and the rear item will be 50. So I am simply adding the statement rear item is, I have a method rear of, right? So q dot rear of, it should return the value 50. Likewise, I have to get the value of front item using the method q dot front of. So it should return the value 50 and 10 respectively. Yeah, it works fine. Exactly, the rear will be return the last inserted value 50. Likewise, the front will return the first inserted value. For our case, the 10 will be the first inserted value, so that it will return the value 10 for this method. So that's all about queue data structure in Java. Do you know that so far I have explained all the operation in physical queue? Got confused? New name? No. There will be two queue. One will be traditional queue and another one will be physical queue. I am going to explain what is the difference between these normal queue as well as physical queue. So why I have used physical queue in this implementation. I am going to explain the drawback of normal queue. The traditional queue insertion same as for physical queue, but while removing the element from the queue, there is no shift operation will be performed like physical queue. Instead of that, the front data will be removed from the queue. Afterwards, the front position will be increment by 1. So let me take an example. If I am removing the value 10 from this traditional queue, the front will be point to 1 and it will point the value 20. Likewise, if I am removing the value 20, the front position will be 2 and it will point the value 30. So in that case, there will be 2 empty space, but I can't able to insert the data because my rear value will be the topmost one. I can't able to insert the data, so it wastes lot of memory. So that we just move for physical queue. In our physical queue, there is no, we won't regret any empty spaces. Instead of that, we simply shift down all the data towards the front positions. Here the front element won't be increased. Instead of that, the rear item will be shifted down towards the front position. So if I am removing the 10 value, means 20, 30, 40, 50 will be shift down one step. Suppose if I am removing the value 20, then the 30 will be in the front position and 40 will be in the 30th position and 50 will be in the 40th position. Afterwards, the rear item will be decreased by 1. In that case, I can utilize that empty spaces. Suppose after DQ the data, I can able to insert the data again to my physical queue. But in traditional queue, I can't. This is the major difference between traditional queue and physical queue. So that I have explained physical queue in this tutorial.